It didn't take long for the vultures to hover over the carcass of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. As you probably know, black supremacist Umar Johnson has been running a decades-long scam to pilfer donations from gullible racists for his school.
For my loyal supporters, if you can spare a few dollars so I can take care of Queen Mother Ifa Tunde and myself, I have never asked the people for $1 in my life. But right now, I don't have any money because my account was frozen by my bank.
The FDMG Academy sold the dream of generations of an Idi Amin Pan-African Youth Corps, and so the money flowed in. What didn't flow out was any effort to actually build a school. So after a while, Umar spent all the Academy donations on himself, leaving the school in a financial hole. Now the city is planning to take the school over and auction it off. But don't worry, whenever you see property that is worth far more than the debts that have accrued, you can bank on a wild horde of charitable saviors willing to swoop in and make your problems go away. And this dude, Marquette Davon Burton, is right out of Casting Central for the lead in Other People's Money, although that part went to Danny DeVito. So get out your raincoats, because it's going to get positively slimy from this point on. Hello out there. I am trying to get through.
With his powerful brainwaves cradled in the warmth of reasoning, it's time for Johnny Walker Dread to straighten you out on a thing or two. Emanating all the way from exciting Las Vegas, Oklahoma, it's the Johnny Walker Dread Show.
So who's Marquette Devon Burton? Dunno. He seems to carry himself much like that obnoxious blowhard Rashad Ritchie, all the while dressing like Jimmy Walker. I read his background, and he seems to have solid academic credentials, meaning actual degrees earned from universities who have some semblance of pride in their programs, which separates him from Umar and the rest. So I'll give him that.
I want to talk to you today about a very sincere opportunity and effort to acquire all or part of the FDMG Academy. And this is something that I encourage you all to share with Dr. Umar, and I'll tell you why.
Notice he said acquire all or part of the FDMG Academy.
My understanding right now, and I'll reference a video that gives some of the numbers, but my understanding right now is that Dr. Umar's school that he has raised millions for and perhaps allocated, actually spent maybe 1.5 million on, that it is in risk of being taken away essentially by the state, the government that is, and auctioned, which means that all of that money donated will have been thrown to waste.
The money is as gone as Michael Jackson, and it's not coming back. No, he hasn't spent $1.5 million on those buildings, dude. He hasn't spent $1,500 on those buildings. I don't know if you're really bullshitting us or you're really that uninformed. He calls himself the saint, by the way, so you know he's sincere.
My sincere offer, and it's very clear that I can make this offer in sincerity and convert on it.
Not to brag or anything.
My understanding is that Dr. Umar owes approximately 38,000 US dollars between utilities, back taxes, things like this. And in paying that bill, which is a manageable bill, he would be able to retain this real estate property, the land and the school buildings. So my offer is to, pending, of course, an inspection, and this can all be private between Dr. Umar and I.
Private between you and him? Dude, you actually posted this on YouTube. I mean, I'm sorry, that's just not a good idea. It's really hard to negotiate in faith when you've already gone public with your offer. It just taints everything.
The inspection, the results of the inspection, the state of the actual buildings, all these things. Because I do acquire distressed assets. This is clearly a distressed asset. And I think that we can do something that'll both benefit potentially students that could learn there at the FDMG Academy. It'll certainly benefit the donors who want their dollars honored and not wasted. It will make sure that Dr. Umar is able to continue on the journey that he's on.
Wow. It sounds like he's going to give Umar $40,000 in an interest-free loan to help the school get off the ground. Or he's going to give Umar the money, but he wants to serve on the school's board and therefore help manage the academy. He's so generous. Oh, is someone cutting onions? But that's not what he has in mind, because he knows fully well that this academy will never operate. Even if Umar paid off his debts, he has no money to even open the school, never minding operating it. And Burton is no fool. He's a financial predator, but he's no fool. He doesn't care about Umar, his debts, the school, or the children. Don't believe me? Okay.
And of course, there'll be something in it for me. As
Yeah, I bet.
I said, it's a distressed asset. So essentially what would happen is this. My sincere offer is I will write the check for, $40,000 or so, however many dollars it is. I'll write the check for $40,000 if you would allow me to just obviously tour the properties. And, if they meet at least a reasonable condition upon visual inspection, then I'll send a proper inspector through to see what the true challenges are of the buildings, what is the actual quality of the HVAC, the electrical wiring, and all the things that are needed to get the buildings functional. And pending the inspector coming back to me with a report that doesn't have anything too egregious, meaning too costly, such that the actual value of the buildings would be less than $40,000, which I don't foresee being the case.
So he's plopping down a measly 40 grand, and he doesn't even want any risk. He wants a guaranteed payday. How magnanimous of him. Is the property worth anything? Possibly not. And if not, you'll see how charitable he becomes then.
I would then basically, and my understanding is he has a number of buildings, maybe in elementary, middle, and high school, is that I would basically do the following. Whichever building is appraises best and is returned by the inspector to have a reasonable number of repairs needed to make the building functional and useful.
In other words, he wants to make sure he gets the best building for himself. The academy children, well, they can go to school in the other buildings. Of course, there will never be any academy children.
I will take ownership of that building. So what I'm saying in short is that I will pay, pending an appraisal and pending a inspection of the property by a certified inspector, I will write the check to remove your utilities and tax burden, tax
all your problems will go away.
woes in exchange for control of one of those buildings.
The word ownership slipped out of his mouth a moment ago. He really doesn't want you to know what this is about. Essentially, he's operating much like one of those check cashing businesses that give you upfront money at high interest rates because they know you're financially distressed. The man you see on the screen has the business ethics of a loan shark. He knows you're desperate. Instead of high interest, he'll just take your property from you. I bought a pool cue from a former world champion one time for next to nothing. Like many pool players, the man had fallen on hard financial times, and so I took advantage of it, and I regretted doing it. It's one of those times that I did something for which I hate myself. The player passed away a long time ago, by the way.
The benefit for Dr. Umar is that he gets to retain the other buildings and continue on with whatever he was trying to do.
But you said earlier, all or part, remember?
Because right now, my understanding is that he's essentially pressed to acquire the capital quickly. And even if he were to raise it from his donors, which are probably shrinking in number of and frequency of and amount of, meaning amount that they're pledging, the frequency with which they pledge, and the number of persons pledging. So he needs quick capital. And
where have I heard this before? Oh, yeah.
Look, you don't have to do this.
But I'm short on cash. And it's the holidays.
You know you could get the money you need at California Check Cash.
Gee, how generous of you. He will have no money at all, and the debts will just start up again. But that won't bother you. I'm sure you have a very forgiving nature. And if you don't, There's something about the leather headrest on a brand new Ferrari paid for by the sale of Umar's school that will make your grief go away.
And quick capital has value. And if he would invite me over, I'll fly out to Delaware on my own penny, and I will inspect it visually. I'll immediately hire an inspector, get an appraiser in there, and then I'll write the check. And then, I'll have one of those buildings signed over to me. He gets to continue on with a significant amount of real estate that will continue to be in his name and at his disposal, and we'll both win, and he gets out of a tight situation. That is.
He's not getting out of this tight situation. He would still be left with no money and an abandoned building that he cannot afford to renovate. He's already blown through well over $1 million in donations. You really think paying off his utility bill is going to give his academy a fresh start? All you will do is allow Umar to retain the FDMG studio, because that's all it is now, to live stream fundraising scams, but that has all but dried up. Look, Umar could have simply taken the nicest of the buildings, the one that you want, and sold it off to pay off the debt. He could probably get far more money than you're offering, giving him at least some cash to continue his scheme for a few more years. You're just wanting to be that buyer, but only forking over a fraction of what he would normally receive. Now, what this video is missing is racism. We need some race hustling here. Hang tight.
Is the proposal. And I do want to concede to everyone that, number one, I'm aware that he's blocked me on several platforms, and I don't blame him, frankly. I mean, I've cracked jokes, I've been critical, but this right here is bigger than Marquette, Devon, Burton. It's bigger than Dr. Umar Johnson. It's about you as a Pan-Africanist, a pro-Black person. You don't want this building and all the donations from Black people to basically go into the government's hands. And certainly this building is not going to go to another Black person, and certainly not a Black person creating a school for Black people. So,
translation: we don't want the buildings to fall into the hands of those Asians, those whiteys. Can you imagine if the new owners are Puerto Rican? I must admit, this "you should let me rip you off because I'm Black" argument is a new one. Although it happens a lot, this is the first time I've ever heard anyone verbalize it.
So I am a Black man, and I will cut the check, which everyone knows I can cut.
Oh, I didn't know we were dealing with Elon Musk here. Wow, he can cut a $40,000 check. Amazing.
And I will cut it quickly to salvage your effort and to save the valuable donations that you've already allocated. And all I ask is that I'm able to take control of one of the buildings, which I think is a fair deal, because frankly, it's in Delaware, which is like, I'm not going to get into it.
He wanted to say the property is located in a predominantly Black neighborhood, and you know how hard it is to keep property in good shape in the hood? So you should sell it to me really, really cheap.
That's what he wanted to say. Don't shoot the messenger. So he thinks that buying property that has been appraised in the high hundreds of thousands for only $40,000 is a fair deal. Okay. For the record, if you're running a scam and needing easy marks, just hunt down the phone numbers of those in the comment section. Not of this video, of his. Most of them think that this guy is wanting to be a business partner of Umar's, or that his real interest is in helping Umar get the school going. How stupid can one get? If Umar takes you up on your offer, then he's a moron. So we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, check out my videos critiquing Umar's doctoral dissertation. They're a hoot. Like my video and subscribe to my channel.